watched that, what's it called, Son of God movie. I think it was last night in a theater. And the movie completely removed Satan or any notion that evil existed from the life of Christ. Like Satan never existed. So everything they showed about the life of Christ was cherry-picked. Thus, for instance, when Christ came across the boy who was possessed by demons, well, that part just isn't in the movie, period. Never happened. They showed the garden, they kind of did a really brief rundown of Adam, Abraham, Lot, just a couple seconds on each of them. So they showed the Garden of Eden for a moment, showed Eve with the apple, biting into the apple, and so on. Such as to reaffirm that childish notion that there was a snake in the tree and that she bit into an actual apple, and that she actually ate, when the actual origin of the word means to partake. You understand? You're partaking in this broadcast, but you're not eating it. Eve partook of the forbidden fruit. So they reinforced misinterpretations. They removed all notion that there is a battle between good and evil. They just removed it. Some things were shown somewhat accurately, but again, it was all cherry-picked, and they removed. And I know we've got somebody in the chat right now who's probably just going to go off, and I don't care. They removed the notion that Christ had already said he was going to rise from the dead after 3 days. Made it look like the disciples were just surprised that he, rose from the dead, like it hadn't already been foretold. And a couple other things they did to really just... Here's the main thing they did, okay? When you're watching a movie and a part of it is just a little bit messed up or a little bit off, and that reminds you you're just watching a movie? And you might even be sitting there and then, there's some bad special effects. And to actually look around the theater for a second, like, oh yeah, I'm in a movie theater. This is just a movie. That's what they did. And they did it on purpose. So at any time when there was a part that was powerful, that was conveying what Christ actually said or what Christ actually did, they would deliberately screw something up in order to remind everybody, oh, this is just a movie. This is all fake. This is just a movie. They did that on purpose throughout that movie. It's subliminal. It's very clever. And that's the agenda behind the movie.
Remember